Good morning. I want to talk to you today about bananas and racism. So a lot of people don't like racism. I don't either. Man, the times I've been told to go back to my country by people on both sides of the political cross, I'd really like to not think about it too much. But here we are. Anyway, a lot of people don't like the idea of, I'm going to say it, eugenics. You see, eugenics is when you take the bad genes and you get rid of them. And the good genes you keep and you make more of them because they're the good ones. And people have labeled this, and I feel mislabeled this, as pseudoscience. It isn't. It's real science. This is how we have bananas and watermelons and chihuahuas, And if you notice, when you walk through the forest, you don't see wild dairy cows because we made them. And, a lot of other things too. So eugenics is actually an amazing thing that has provided you your pit bulls and your bananas and your oranges and all this kind of stuff that you have your life filled with. And it would be really missing without those things, without those eugenic offsprings. The only problem is when people use eugenics on a platform where there are human beings. That's when it gets really effed up. But to call it pseudoscience, it's not. You take the genes you want, you make more of them. The ones you don't, you know how that goes. You see, eugenic practices are real. Genetics are a real thing. Just look at Robert Plomin. Behavioral genetics it's real, okay? Your genes have a lot to do with your height. Not everything, because you can have genes, quote unquote, genes for height, and not get the proper nutrition as a child and end up not being tall. So the genes are not the end all be all, but neither is the environment, because even the people with the tall genes who don't get food, well, they still might be taller than someone with the quote unquote short genes. And I'm speaking in generalities here, but you get the idea. So genes also make things like your cognitive traits, your personality traits, much to many people's chagrin, are not written on a blank slate. A lot of it, a significant amount, are inherited. They're genetic. Your traits are not just something you can, I read a Hallmark card and now I'm going to change my worldview and now I'm a this. Yeah, you could do a little bit of that, but not that much. I mean, even neuroplasticity. I mean, there's a reason why your neurons have neuroplasticity, have plasticity to them, and the cells on your elbows do not have plasticity to them. But even the neurons that have plasticity to them, the degree of plasticity that they have is itself genetically programmed, okay? So it's not like eternally malleable, okay, like some people want to say. It's not. It's just not, okay? Musical aptitude, also genetic. Now, just because someone inherits genes doesn't mean they're going to be a great musician. You still have to actually practice. And if that person inherited the genes from music, I'm doing air quotes here, but there's no musical instruments around when they're a child, they might not be a great musician, because the environment obviously also matters. Again, read Robert Plomin. Great stuff. I'll put a link in the description there if you're interested in behavioral genetics, not for the faint of heart. But to just say, race is also not something purely socially constructed. Like the comedian Anthony Jeselnik quipped, Japanese people basically invented racism. Rimshot, dogs. But seriously, there's a reason why if two Japanese people mate, the baby will probably look a certain way compared to if two African American people mate. Because of genetics. It's not racism, it's genes, it's scientific principles that yield these phenotypical results. Your not just personality traits, but your behavioral traits, your temperament, infant temperament. Before a baby is even exposed to any social pressures, genetics has already taken effect on how much it will be crying and its movement right out of the womb. Okay. So genes play an enormous role in who you are. But to say that if you don't have the right genes, now you're one of these people, that's what the psychotic, crazy, like religious terrorists do. Like we're the chosen ones and we have the correct genotype and the wrong genome people will be vanquished with our sky manual or whatever. I'm not into that. See, that's, I forget who it was. I can't remember the comedian, but, they said religion is basically it's basically socially sanctioned racism. I mean, you get to say, because of my book, those people have to die and they're the wrong people and we're the chosen ones. It's like a spiritual kind of eugenics in a way. I know, not exactly the most upbeat and lighthearted topics, but I like to engage in those things as the sun rises. Stay curious or GTFO.